Okay, so let's go ahead and continue with our blockout. So what I'm first going to do is I will first fix like the bottom floor over here. And I have a pretty good idea for that. So if we first of all place a wall here, and basically the only reason I'm doing this is that I can see where the straight wall ends again. So we go like this, for example, over here. There we go. So see, because this is straight, so now I know that this is where it will end. And then my idea is to actually make this like a square space. That's the same name as like the website stuff. So what I can do is I can go ahead and I can simply start duplicating this. And then we will create a ceiling later on. But this is my idea. So we basically duplicate this, and then over here we also push this one further out. And it will basically be like a really large square space. And I think that will also make things a little bit more logical for when we have like our restaurants. Because up here I want to have like restaurants and everything that you can walk inside. So it just seems like it makes sense if we do it this way. So let's go ahead and do 90 degrees and move this one roughly over here. And what would also be cool is if I just grab, for example, like one of these pillars and use these to basically cover up that ugly transition like this, and then it will look still like quite natural if we do something like that. So for the depth, we kind of just need to see. This is once again one of those places where I will not spend a lot of time adding like props and everything. So I'm not going to make it too overkill in terms of size and everything. So let's push this back. And now we can simply continue on like this. And we are basically going to use our modeling tools to create a very quick ceiling for this kind of stuff. So we got these ones. There we go. See? So we got like this big open empty space down here. And pretty much, and this works for all of them, if you want to create a ceiling, the way that I do this is I go ahead and what are the dimensions again? 1 meter by 5 by 5 or something like that. Yeah, 5 meters by 1. Okay. So knowing the dimensions, I simply go up here to my modeling toolkit. I go to add a box and then just press complete. And the box is going to be, so the 1 by 1 doesn't really matter. I just need to figure out and set this one to 0.95 to make it like the tiniest bit smaller. And I want to make it so small that you cannot really see the transition. So if I turn off my snapping, I basically want to like move it up here. 9. See? So I'm moving it up here so that you cannot see. Well, you can see like the tiniest bit of like a transition, but it's not visible enough that it will be annoying to look at. And then what I can do is I can pretty much just move this to like a place I want. Go to my edit toolkit, and then it's just a matter of moving this one out, moving this one out, and then we can just create a very quick ceiling. And then over here, if we just carefully click on this edge like that, I can also move this one out. And then pretty much you just need to go in, yeah, let's press accept, add like loops in, and add like a few extra loops in here just to make it look a little bit nicer. So here we add like a few extra loops, and then we go back to our poly edit, and then we simply select these corners. Push them further back in. You can see that sometimes it's a bit tricky to select the vertices. So if you cannot select it or not correctly, just try to select it the other way around. But basically we now have something like this. Very quick and easy. And then when you would add like your gray material. Of course right now it's not the exact gray material as this one, but you can see that then the transition becomes fine. And you can see that this will be the same when we start adding our world space materials. Because those are the exact same materials, the transition will simply work out totally fine like that. So we got that stuff done. That's great. Now for this piece, as I said before, this one is going to be closed off stores. So I'm first going to go ahead and start to create a bent wall over here. So if we have our, where are you, wall plane trim, I want to go ahead and I want to do a Shift D to duplicate that and add this to a layer. And I call this wall underscore bent. Yeah, well, we only need one, so I don't need to really say 0, 1 or 0, 2. So we got this wall, and then we go ahead and have a look at our floor block over here. Now, this bending, we do not want to bend it on this side. We want to bend it over here. See? So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna... Here, let's have a quick look. Okay, so it sits just on top of that, so that should be all fine. So if I go ahead and just quickly move this a little bit forward, so that I have like a little bit more of like a buffer space, I then go in, add a bunch of connection edges over here. 10 should once again be fine. Oh, looks like that is broken. That sometimes happens, don't worry. So you can reset your history or freeze your transforms. Freezing transforms you can find in modify, freeze transforms. This is just, sometimes it just gets a little bit buggy. And if it doesn't work again... Okay, see here. So it unfortunately doesn't work again. This just sometimes happens. For some reason Maya is really bad with like the connection. And if that is the case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead. And I'm pretty much just doing like some manual placement over here. Because they don't need to be perfectly precise. Like, at least not for the blockout. So just doing like some manual placement like this. There we go, and that should already be like enough segments, so I'm fine with that. So, having this piece done, what we're going to do now is we are going to add our bend, same thing as before. We are going to set the curvature once again to like 15 degrees, although we will need to play around with it a little bit. Set our low bound to 0. Let's turn off our floor temporarily. Let's rotate our bend 90 degrees and set our high bound to like 3 to basically push it out. And I'm going to snap this to points and snap it to this point where our pivot will be. So once we've done that, if we turn off snap to points and turn on our floor again, now pretty much all that we need to do is we need to push this out, as you can see over here, until it sort of hits the side. And then we just want to play around with our curvature. Here, see, so we can pretty much scale it. Let's set this to 5 maybe. No, that's too little. 7. It's probably going to be, if that was 15, 7.5 is probably going to be like, here, see the even value. So you just want to basically set it at half the value. And then, if you are placing it very carefully, it should kind of snap in place, just because of the movement is always like a little bit jagged, but in this case it actually works to our advantage. And just basically get it like this. So you just have like a nice bend in the back corner. Once you are done with that, with this one, pretty much just go ahead and remove your history so that you can properly move it. And then it's just a matter of snapping it back onto our grid over here, so that it is back in place just like always. And that's pretty much it. We now have this wall done, so we can just go export selection. And we can go ahead and call this wall underscore plane underscore, plane underscore trim underscore bend. And we can export that. There we go, one extra piece. Let's go in here. Import. And then it is just a matter of doing the same thing as we've done before. We duplicate this. And we add like the plane trim over here, as you can see. And then it would just kind of like transition out. For this one, yeah, I'm afraid that it's once again like the really annoying way of placing it. Especially with this trim, it might be even more annoying. Where I kind of like need to place it over here. I like to just remove the bottoms like this. And I'm going to get started by just setting this to a rotation of 15 degrees, holding V. Oops. and carefully snapping this together. It might sometimes take you a few tries to get it to snap exactly correct. But once you've placed this, you never have to touch it again, because we are just going to update this. That's the nice thing about these type of blockouts. All the work that we do right now, later on when we create our final models, it's just a matter of overwriting them with our blockout, and then instantly everything will be final. So that's why we are doing it this way. And that's also why we already spent so much time on this. If this would not turn into final right away, I would not spend this much time on just creating like the best blockout. But this is pretty much just already designing our level. That's why I just take my time to make sure it's exactly perfect. Here we go, and okay, one more, and then we got it. 15 degrees. Move it back. Hold V and snap. Okay, and then if you do Ctrl H, you can unhide pieces. And there you go. That works. Oh, looks like that I do need to... wait, I need to snap this last one over here. There we go. And down here I don't need to do that, so that's now snapped, and now this one will just snap on and on completely normal. So we got these pieces done over here. That's looking pretty good already. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this stuff. Move it over here. Ooh, interesting. We don't have a trim anymore. So I wonder how we would properly navigate that way. Maybe we can get away with a trim, because there will be only like storefronts all the way around here as far as I know. So beyond this point, we would have, so beyond this point we would have like a storefront, and another one. So I'm actually not too worried about the trim. This wall will most likely just be removed later on. We are just placing it now so that we properly have something to measure by. Here, let me see if I can actually... I'm not snapping it exactly correctly, am I? Oh no, wait, I am. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we got these pieces over here done. These walls, as I know, we have them a little bit scaled. So I can just go in here and I can apply the same scaling here. Like a little bit of scaling like this should normally not matter. Unless you have like bricks or anything. And you are having, or you are using unique UVs on those bricks. Yes, then it will look bad. But when that is not the case, we can do something like this. And then you probably guessed it. We can simply grab like a pillar like this and just kind of like move it over here. Push it back to kind of like cover up those areas. I don't know. If you want, you can also continue this pillar down here. Don't forget to then quickly just flip it around to be a pillar with a trim. Like that, so that it just nicely transitions. There we go, should be good enough. Okay, so we got that stuff also done. Over here there will be like a roof and stuff like that, so I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, that's looking all pretty good. So, now that we have this stuff done, the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm just having a think over here. I'm going to... Let's add some pillars first. Let's go in here and pretty much add some pillars, and I want to have them just in front of it. Wait, let me just quickly go to my gray and make this like a little bit darker. So that it matches everything else a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to have these pillars just in front of it. Turn off my snap rotation and basically just kind of like rotate them, and that should do the trick. And I'm not going to really do like super precise placement. I'm kind of just going to wing it and see if it looks good. Because if it looks good to my eye, then often people will not really notice that it is off unless they really look super closely. But like how many people will actually look that closely and start measuring out the distance between pillars, for example. And yeah, here it becomes a little bit difficult to sometimes see again. Wow, that's really difficult to even see. Let me just go back into the shadow. There we go. Now I can at least see what I'm doing. Okay, so I was quite close. Okay, so we got this one, this one, this one. And probably like the last one that's on a round area. Let's move it a little bit further back. Okay. Let's also start turning off my snapping for these pieces. So we have this one that will be just in front of here. And then finally we have the last one over here, for which I will go ahead and I will set the rotation to exactly 90 degrees because this is on a flat area again. And then nicely push it down here. Okay, perfect. So we got this piece done over here. So as you can see, that's already starting to look quite nice. What we have over here. It still needs a lot of work, but it's getting there. I'm going to wait with the stores until last. So let me just first of all just finish off this area over here. So for this area, I now also want to have escalators in these places so that people do not have to walk all the way to this escalator just to get to this area. They can just also walk here. And then what I need to do is I need to go ahead and have the walkway also over here. Now this should not be too difficult because I just need to replicate this one. 1, 2, 1, 2. So if I go in here, I can even duplicate literally everything over here. Yeah, my snapping is turned on again, so that's fine. So I can go duplicate 1, 2, 1, 2, so that will give me the space. And then I need to go ahead and I need to delete this one and this one, this one and this one, yes. And then I need to grab only these two over here. And move them in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to rotate them. 180. And let's see, so these will nicely move into like this location. And they will kind of just like slot in here. Like that. So that people can walk past the pillar once again. They can go up. Yeah, that is fine. So we got that one done. Now over here we have like a lot of empty space. For this empty space what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to have just like a simple walkway over here. So this should be fine to have it on this side. So I'm just double checking. Whenever you hear me like talking slower and everything, it's just me thinking. So just keep that in mind because of course this takes a lot of mental work also behind the scenes. To just make sure that everything works correctly because you need to think, with environment art you often need to think like 100 steps ahead. Like I'm thinking now about stuff that we will only cover in like 20 hours time or something like that, for example. But this is looking pretty good. Now over here, this one will just transition, so we should not need to do anything because this will basically just transition out to the very end over here. If it is transitioning out to the very end, that means that I need to change my placement a little bit because I want to have this walkway hit this area over here. So if I go ahead and let me just quickly finish this off to see how far away I am from everything, because then we would just need to like place an extra bit between it. Okay, so if this is the walkway that I want, I will need to go ahead and I will move this up. Oh yeah, it's the pillar. The pillar is making things a little bit confusing. So I'm going to move this further. Like this. And I'm just going to probably move this entire thing to this very end. So first of all, let me just use this one as like a measurement tool. Okay, so that is quite a gap. But that gap would start overlapping with this area, and I do not want to have it overlap like that. Let's have a look. So I'm just having a think about how we can do this transition, because I kind of just want to end the pillars or I want to end these bits over here. To be honest, what I want to do is I want to even end it a little bit further, so that we get like that tiny little bit of like a trim. So if I go in here and move it like once, here see, so that we get like that tiny bit of a trim over there. So this is kind of like how I want to end things. I can see over here that it's also clipping in, but that's something that's easy to fix. I can just push that back. That is no problem. Sorry, it takes a lot of selecting in these areas. Oh, that's annoying. There we go, now it works. Okay, so this one would basically end over here, and this will be just the end of the actual building. So that leaves this piece. I don't understand, where did we go wrong to end up with a piece like that? It's probably like somewhere along the line we went wrong with like one transition between like a pillar to like this piece. Now it does not matter too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm just going to scale this, set my scaling even lower. There we go. Let's just do this. Let's just scale it like this, and that should be honestly fine. If we do it that way, I'm going to go ahead and delete those and just quickly duplicate this up so that it is already in the right location. These pieces over here are going to be moved forward like this, which means that over here I can just duplicate one extra piece. And I need to probably do the same over here, where I need to just, yeah, see here. So I need to scale this out a tiny bit. I normally don't like doing manual work like this, but for now it is probably the easiest solution. And then over here, yeah, it might be nicer if we just go ahead and also give it like, oops, the same scaling. So let me just go here. Okay, so we give it like the same scaling over here. And I have an idea. So what I'm going to do at the very end is I'm going to grab a round pillar. And basically use that as like the support. Almost as if to say like this is a decorative transition. Because else it will look very strange. Because as you can see right now, just in general, it already looks like quite strange that we just have like this floating corner over here. But once we have our actual railings here and everything, it should, I hope it should be fine. But it will be fine. I know it will be fine. So we can now just go ahead and we can grab this entire thing up here. We can duplicate it. And nicely moved into position. There we go. So there will be a railing over here. There will be a railing over here. So I'm going to probably have another pillar around like this point. And another pillar around like this point. And another pillar. 1 second. Let's do... Yeah, okay, let's do like this point, yeah. No, wait, no, I don't I don't like that. I'm really picky with this kind of stuff. Let's do another pillar here. And then another pillar around this point. And the reason for that is because we are going to grab a box. We are going to make the size, 1, that's fine. Let's just snap this down. And you probably can guess what we are going to do. We can snap it over here. And then if we go into our poly edit, I'm going to nicely move this very close. So this will pretty much be our only unique piece that we have for our floor. So we are going to like nicely and closely place this over here. And then when you add the gray, it's just like there's an extra floor. See? And then this support over here, it becomes logical. So we now got something like this. That's looking pretty good. Just nice and simplified. You can go up here. Can go up here, and then you will reach the restaurants. You can go up here, you will reach the bookstores. You can go down here to reach the restaurants. And then I also want to go down here to reach the restaurants. So that will be the next one. Just quickly rotate my lighting around a little bit. So I'm going to... Okay, that did not work, rotating the lighting around. There we go. So, yeah, I want to go ahead and duplicate it up until this point. And okay, of course, also this one. And this is basically going to be the end over here. So this will be the corner of our building. So we will pretty much just transition down, and I will do that in just a second. And down here, I'm going to do something special. So let me just do that a little bit later. For now, let's just go ahead and duplicate these three. Rotate them 90 degrees. Move them back a little bit. Put them nicely into place. And then we can simply start by duplicating this all over the place, like this. Until we reach the end. And that should all fit fairly well, which it does. It's not the most perfect fit, but that does not matter, as long as it works, see? Because of course we did some scaling, so we just need to compensate. So there we go. So now we have like a bottom place over here. And then for the top, all we need to do... Ooh. How am I going to... I'll have a look at that. Like the best way to fix it. Probably just by simply doing like some scaling like we would have done over here. Yeah, that's probably going to be the case. Just going to be selecting these. Oh wait, what's the scaling? 1.125. So let's select all of these pieces over here. This one also. Move it down. Turn this into a simple plain wall without the snapping. And we are setting this to 1.125 like this. There we go. So that's now the end. See, so it's just going to be a corner. And then there will simply be like a few stores or something else in here. And I'll make it like nice and decorative. So let's see. So that like transitions those pieces. That's fine. And this is like the least interesting area of our building. It's just kind of like there to close it off. So most of our camera angles will be focused towards this area, and towards like this area, I think. Just because if you look at this, like this looks a lot cooler. So I'm going to, first of all, quickly duplicate these pieces, and I'm going to set them near the very end probably. Like that. There we go. See. So now there is more than enough space for people to go everywhere they want. They can just walk around and stuff like that. Over here, what I was going to do is I was going to roughly do the same thing as that we are doing here, where first of all we are pushing back this wall a little bit more. And then we are basically transitioning. And oh wait, if this one is wrong, then it must also be wrong here. I just cannot see it. And in unlit mode I can also not. Oh no, wait, it's just a single one. Oh, that's why. Because it is a different wall. So that's an annoying thing with unlit mode when we don't have any colors yet or anything. You just cannot look through it. But anyway, I can just like make a rough guess. I guess I could also try and set my sunlight to like 1. Here to set like a little bit lower, then it might be a little bit easier to see stuff. So we got this one, and now I'm just going to duplicate this down here, and then we are just going to make it go straight all the way along. So let's push this back up until roughly this point. Duplicate it once. Let's push it back a little bit more. Okay, perfect. So now, if we just go ahead and duplicate this all the way along, that should pretty much be it. Doesn't need anything special, and I think I'm not even going to have any stores in this wall. It's just going to be like this random wall, and I will just fill it up with like seatings and stuff like that, just for people to read and sit and anything like that. So let's do one last duplication over here. Oh wow, 30 minutes. Time really flies by. Sorry that this is such a long chapter. In that case, I will go ahead and finish this one off. And it will be very dark, as you can see. But it will work. So let's finalize this by quickly duplicating this floor over here. There we go. So that just becomes a dark area. I can see that over here it's not perfect, so let me just... Oop, there we go. So yeah, that already now gives us quite a nice transition. Let me just quickly save my scene, that would be nice to do. And let's just have a quick play around. So if you just look around at it, and just imagine that you are a person, you come in here, like big doors, and you just see like this really big open place, and it's like a massive library. You can walk up here. It's totally fine, like we just have the escalator. So yeah, I think the metrics are looking pretty good. I think it will give us like a really nice and impressive feel. But it will not look like silly big. So it will look like a very large place, but it will not look unnatural. As you can see over here. And then you can also go ahead and you can walk down here. And here you just see the restaurants. Okay, perfect. So I quite like that. So in the next chapter, what we will do is we will pretty much just go ahead and continue. And I think I'm going to... Yeah, I think I will spend a little bit more time polishing, adding like some railings, and then we will start with our stores. Most of our stores are going to be completely unique meshes. So they do take quite a bit longer than the stuff that we've been doing so far. So let's go ahead and continue with this in our next chapter.